So awesome to have you all here. I'm really excited for this session. And like I already said, but I'm going to say it again, we are exploring such an amazing and important topic in terms of trading psychology and in terms of our mindsets, actually, because everything that we have discussed so far, in terms of all of the topics that we have explored in previous webinars and previous workshops, are extremely, extremely important. However, that only matters if we are able to actually implement the knowledge, and if we are actually able to apply the changes, and if we are actually able to grow from the things that we have learned. Because at some point, if we have a lot of knowledge in store and we store that knowledge in our brains and we do not utilize it and put it into action, it can just become a noise. Not only can it only just become a noise, but actually it can start having a negative effect on you as a person, because eventually you will start understanding, and your brain will start understanding that, look, we have all of that knowledge, but we are not utilizing it and putting it into action. So growth mindset is extremely important because it's about understanding the way that we have to go and kind of understanding the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, and what growth mindset really actually means. That it is not just about, you know, collecting feedback and, taking certain things as a lesson, but it is actually about the implementation, and it's about how we are going to collect the feedback and how we are going to use those lessons, because using those lessons is the most important thing. Putting things into action. We can collect data, we can collect data on our trades, on our emotions, based on the last week's webinar and workshop where we talked about the data collection, and we actually created necessary steps and formula to data collection, understanding ourselves, monitoring our performance. But all of that monitoring has to be put into action. It has to be analyzed, and then it has to be moved forward. So this is exactly what we will be exploring today, what we will be talking about today. But first of all, we have to understand the difference between the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, because some of you, maybe due to certain belief systems, may actually have some part of the growth mindset and some part of the fixed mindset. Because again, everything is on a spectrum. Nothing is either that you're either this or you're either that. Everything is going to be somewhere in between 0 and 100. And that is absolutely fine, because this is how we work as humans, and this is how we function as humans. Okay, but it is again all about gathering that insight into understanding ourselves, because when we understand ourselves, this is when the true growth and the true transformation comes in trading. Because behind trading is a person with experiences, person with different personality types, a person with different emotional intelligence, a person with different experiences. And that person dictates how accurately the strategy is going to be implemented and executed. So this is where now we are going to explore the growth and fixed mindset from the psychological perspective. We're going to compare the two and then put the knowledge of neuroscience behind it. So diving deep into the psychological essence of growth mindset, at its core, a growth mindset is the underlying belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed with time, effort, and dedication. It's a perspective that thrives on challenge and sees failure not as evidence of lack of skill or of lack of intelligence, but as a springboard, an opportunity for growth and for stretching our abilities beyond the norm. So, from the psychological standpoint, it is transformative way of thinking that not only impacts how we approach our tasks, but also sets the stage for continuous learning and self-improvement. So This type of mindset for traders will help traders to rise above. And you as a trader with growth mindset will see temporary setbacks as an opportunity to learn from and to learn something new and to challenge yourself with something new rather than perceive it as barriers. Now, that is very common because sometimes you can see two traders in two different circumstances. And even though the trader who is in more challenging life circumstances will perceive their opportunities in terms of funding, in terms of coaching, in terms of knowledge that is provided as a huge ability to grow and progress as a trader, whilst a trader who may actually come from financially stable home and have financially stable circumstances, they will perceive everything from the negative standpoint and potentially fixed mindset as well. However, we're not talking here about positive mindset and negative mindset. We're talking about growth and fixed mindset. So now I want to talk about that fixed mindset. Let's understand the significant difference between growth and fixed. So fixed mindset is a belief that your traits as a person are innate and set in stone. So that's it. The way you are born is the way you are. And that individuals with a fixed mindset may avoid actually challenges, and they will give up easily, and they will see effort as fruitless if if the person's not naturally talented. So in the trading world, we can translate it into kind of feeling threatened, sometimes even by others' success, or feeling threatened by the complexity of the markets, or deciding that mastering the markets is beyond your reach, or that getting a funded account is beyond your reach, or getting paid is beyond your reach. All of those things will be not perceived as an opportunity to grow, but actually as a fixed thing that is stopping you from growth. So when we put it in contrast, it's about really embracing and persisting through difficulties. So the growth mindset will not put you down. Of course, certain difficulties and challenges in trading, especially, may not feel great. But really, it's about how we are going to use that information for the future. Because, of course, we will experience emotions, and some things may feel quite sad and uncomfortable, and that's all right. But it's all about what we are going to do with this point of experience, how we are going to utilize it for our success, how we're going to see others' success as an inspiration for our own success. How are we going to work harder, but actually, how are we going to work smarter? Because sometimes it's not about working harder, but it's about working smarter with openness to new potential, to adaptability, to working on yourself. Because you can spend, what I mean by that, you can spend 12 hours a day in front of your charts. That is not working harder. That is you sitting in front of the charts, doing the same thing over and over again, and potentially expecting different outcomes. Whereas working smarter would be splitting that time in between trading, in between backtesting, in between working on yourself, in between educating yourself, reading a book, journaling, diving deep into your data, understanding and reflecting on your data. All of those things would actually then be smarter and more effective, even if you are going to spend 5 hours or 7 hours of doing it rather than 12 hours just staring at the screen doing the same thing. Okay, now let's talk about science. Science is always something I want to talk about and mention because it's the backing of everything that we talk about. So the science behind growth mindset is fascinating, really, because it is about revealing. So the neuroscientific studies, apologies, has revealed that, pushing ourselves to learn new things, to overcome our challenges, to adapt to complex scenarios in life, in trading, actually forms new connections in our brain, making our brains bigger and more resilient. So it's a neuroplasticity that underlies our ability to develop new skills and improve with practice. And I've mentioned this before in previous webinars and workshops. Not until some time ago, it was actually even discovered by scientists that we can change, that we can be different, that we can grow, that we are not fixed in the way we are as humans. Yes, there are potentially certain parts of us as humans that are our core, but what we have to kind of think about, and what we have to think about, and what we have to implement, is think about, how can we put it all in practice. So for traders, it's all about analyzing the market, reflecting on the data that is collected, adapting based on that data. So, very often I get traders asking me, what risk reward should I go for? Should I do this? Should I do that? It's about seeing how you perform. It's understanding how you are performing. It's understanding, what does that mean? Is the risk reward ratio 1 to 3, 1 to 5, in accordance to you? In accordance to is what is happening in the markets, the strategy that you're using, how you are executing the market, your mental capacity. All of those things have to be taken into consideration and continuously perhaps readapted, tweaked, and understood. Because it's not really about the theory, it is about using the information that is in front of us and utilizing it for growth and for moving forwards and for pushing ourselves forwards. So it's a powerful reminder, really, about what is the physical process that occurs in our brain as we push ourselves. And it is almost like related to a tree that is growing in, a changing season. And the tree in changing seasons will lose some leaves, and then it will grow some leaves, and it will constantly adapt and grow bigger and bigger and bigger. But it's about that adaptability, and it's about us becoming stronger and stronger by each time. And actually, before we started this session, I've posted a quote, and I want to read out that quote to you, because it's one of the most powerful quotes for me as a person that I took from Stoicism. And we very often forget that we need to be like trees, that we need to adapt to each season. And sometimes, in some challenging seasons, we will lose the beauty of our leaves, but that's okay, because that is preparing us to grow again, to flourish again. Just like the charts are moving up and down in a bullish market, this is how we're going to grow. We're going to grow, then there's going to be a bit of a dip, and then only that dip happens to provide us with another opportunity to grow. And that's the way I see it, and that's the way I want you to see it. But I want you to read out that quote to you. And to me, that quote really is representative of growth mindset and not allowing our circumstances to limit us in any way. So the quote goes like this: "No tree becomes deep-rooted and sturdy unless strong winds blow against it. This shaking and pulling is what makes the tree tighten its grip and plant its roots more securely. The fragile trees are those grown in a sunny valley." And I just want to leave that quote there, because that quote is absolutely phenomenal. So now let's talk about the importance of growth mindset in Forex trading, not just Forex. Maybe I shouldn't put just Forex, because obviously you may be trading different things, and that's absolutely fine. But I've just put Forex there, so I should have just said trading, really. So growth mindset, if you think about it, just, thinking about the scope of what it means, is obviously going to help you to adapt in a volatile market conditions. It will help you to continually learn from wins and losses, missed opportunities, break evens. It will obviously help you to build that resilience in the face of the challenge. So adaptability, let me just highlight this to you, that adaptability in volatile markets and markets, forex markets, stock markets, any other markets are volatile. Financial markets are volatile, okay? And adaptability, the ability to adapt, is not just something that is nice to have, it's a must for any serious trader, for any serious person that wants to succeed in this career. You need to be willing to adapt and grow. So your growth mindset is what is going to help you to navigate through the turbulent times, the times when things don't go the way you would want it to go. It allows you to adjust your strategy in real time, to absorb what is happening in the markets, you know, what is happening in the world. The world will have an impact on the markets. The news, there will be unexpected news, there will be unexpected events, and all of those things will have impact on financial markets. And this is where, when you are strong in terms of your mindset and you see things as opportunity to grow and you are adaptable, this is where, without any hesitation, you will be able to do that for yourself. And you will not think, oh, look, my strategy doesn't allow me to do X, Y, and Z. You will understand, I need to adapt the way I'm operating at the moment. Just the same as you would adapt in the way that you are operating during high volume news, red folder during the day on non-farm payroll or stuff like that. You have to adapt consistently like this in the markets as well. So think of the market in a way like weather system. So with a growth mindset, as a trader, you will become adaptable to every weather condition. So whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, whether it's this, it's that, you are always learning, adapting, and you are never just anchored to one way of doing things. You understand things on more deep level because you're willing to grow. So resilience. Resilience is so very extremely important when it comes to trading, because you will be faced with challenges. There is a reason for the statistic about how many traders succeed and how many do not. So all of this does not depend on the strategy, because we can see so many traders trading the same strategies, but yet having completely different outcomes. Again, why? Because it's a different person with different mindset. So traders with a growth mindset don't see challenges as brick walls where something is going to kind of stop them, right? They are seeing it as an opportunity, another opportunity to be challenged, to grow, to actually adapt new skills. Because every time you are going to grow, every time you are going to achieve a new height, like a step, okay, every single time this is going to be a new position that you are in, and you will have to acquire new skills in order to accomplish the next step. And then you will have to again grow and accomplish another set of skills, another set of goals in order to step up. You never will be just moving in a constant in terms of your skills. You will always have to push yourself and move forward in order to achieve what you want to achieve. Okay, so now I want to present to you two traders, trader A and trader B, the trader with a growth mindset and the trader with a fixed mindset. And I have written a little example for you. So I want you to imagine two traders, A and B, who both experience a significant loss on the same day due to unexpected market news. Okay, the loss they face is the same, but the way they deal with it differs dramatically. because of their mindset and how they perceive that specific situation. So trader A is engulfed by the loss. Actually, other way around. Trader A feels like sting of the loss. So look, A and B will experience a significant feeling about it, a significant emotion about it. And trader A will feel the sting of that loss. They will feel that feeling, the emotion, but they see it as an opportunity to learn. They're not going to allow for that expensive lesson of blowing the account or losing the significant amount of money or breaching a challenge as something that is the end of it. They will ask themselves, actually, well, what can this loss teach me? How can I adjust next time, either my strategy, my behavior, or perhaps my approach in terms of risk reward or my stop loss placements in the future? How can I put myself in a way better position next time? And the trader A will dive into the analysis of this trade or of the situation. They will examine the entry, exit points, the risk management, the external factors. Could they have predicted the external factors? They will acknowledge the loss, but remain kind of optimistic in terms of moving forwards. Because in terms of trading, losses, significant losses, loss of certain percentages of portfolios sometimes happen, and they happen even to, fund managers in big banks. And that is not something unusual, but it's really how it is going to be processed, how that information is going to be used. Is it going to be used in an effective manner? Because I always say, because it's a very famous saying on social media, that your losses in the markets are your lessons, like you would be paying for your lessons at university, or like you would be paying for your lessons at extra training, and this is what you pay for. But that lesson is only going to be paid for like this if you're actually going to learn something from it, if you're actually going to sit down and analyze it. Because if you are going to make the same mistake and you blew that challenge account or your funded account, and you are not actually going to sit down and understand the reasons behind it in terms of yourself, again, exits, entries, events, what happened, why it happened, what did you do, how did you do it? If you're not going to do that and take it seriously, like review your performance, review the performance of your business, of the decision that you have made, then you are likely to be stuck in the same cycle. Because now let's talk about trader B. Trader B will be engulfed by that loss, and they will see it as a personal failure, a reflection of their inability to predict the market. And they will tell themselves that they're just not cut for it, and they will start blaming the broker, the news, the firm, or say, everybody can make it and I can't. I'm not one of those people that can do it. And that frustration would lead to rumination and feeling sorry for themselves, not to reflection. And they will put themselves into that kind of, victim mindset. They will avoid looking at the market. I'm going to take a break from the market. I will not review that trade. I will, have to hope to avoid the same situations in the future. But when they are faced with the same situation in the future, guess what they're going to do? Likely the same, because they have not prepared based on the lesson what they should do next. They hoped, but you cannot hope in the financial markets. You have to make calculated decisions that are backed by data, decisions that are backed by feedback. And whatever is happening between you and the markets and the decisions that you make and the emotions that you experience is a constant feedback that you are receiving from the markets. It's almost like, this is the way I want you to think about it, right? If you think about your mobile phones, everybody, majority I know have smartphones. It's like a software update that consistently you receive on your phone to update your phone. But I want you to think like that about your brain, about your mindset, that in order to improve your performance over time, new information will come in, new information from the markets, new information from the environment. And I'm not saying consume information. I am not saying learn new strategies. I am saying stick to what you have, because very often traders seek the new strategies, seek new mentorships, seek new coaches, seek new ways of trading. They switch the time frame, they do this, then that. But actually, it's about sticking to one thing for long enough in a reflective manner. It's not about jumping from one thing to another, but sticking to one thing and actually learning it, becoming an expert at it by collecting feedback, by growing, by moving forwards, by stepping 2 steps backwards again and doing it over and over again. And that is what is going to help you move forwards, because from the neuroscience perspective, your brain is like a muscle, and that will grow stronger as you use it. So as you will use it in terms of certain area, so trading, and certain event happens, and if that event happens that blew your account, and you're just going to throw it out of the window and think, I'm going to take a break, and then you take a week break, or you take 5 days break till Monday, and you come back on Monday and you pretend like nothing happened last week. That's not growth. That break was not effective. You just are now pretending that nothing has happened. That break was good because, of course, it could have led to more losses, to more accounts being blown, etc. But during that break, it's not just about taking a break. It's about reflection. It's about thinking, how can I grow better? How can I be better? How can I move forwards? And if you would do that, you would strengthen those neural connections in your brain. And that way, you would underpin the physical growth of your brain, of those neural connections. And in the response, in the future response of similar events, you would exactly know what to do. And most importantly, it's not just about knowing what to do. It's about knowing what not to do. Not to do. So this is why it's so relevant for traders to understand and think to themselves, am I actually a trader with a growth mindset? Or am I actually avoiding a lot of different responsibilities that I should be taking as a trader? So I want you to explore that. And this is where this session, I prepared something different, because I want us to actually move into it, and I want you to self-assess yourself. Okay, and I'm going to explain the rules, and I am going to read out a question to you, and you are going to answer, and the answers are the same. Okay, you will either strongly disagree, disagree, disagree somewhat, agree somewhat, agree, strongly disagree. Okay, however, there are 2 columns, as you can see. So I will tell you what those 2 columns are and what is the purpose of them. So as I will be asking you a question, and whatever you are going to answer, I want you to write the answer with the number. So if I'm going to, let me read out the first question, okay? I believe I can always change my talent no matter how much I have to start with. So let's say you say disagree. So if you say disagree to question number 1, I want you to write number 2, and disagree. And I will be telling you either choose answers and numbers from column to the left, or choose answers and numbers from column to the right, because on the column to the right, you can see that when you say disagree, it has number 5 next to it. And that is because of the type of questions that will be asked. And those type of questions hold different value to them. And then at the end, those numbers are going to help us to understand the metric of the growth mindset. Okay, so follow my lead. I hope you understand the rules of it. So follow my lead, and I will tell you, take the answers from column to the left or to the right. All right. So now I just want to highlight here that there are not right or wrong answers. You have to choose what best suits you. All right. So this is we are going to try to figure out, and I will help you figure out what does that mean at the end. So question number one, answer from the column to the left. Okay, and write the number with your answer, remember. So I believe I can always change my talent no matter how much I have to start with. Answer number with one, strongly disagree, two, disagree, three, disagree somewhat, four, agree somewhat, five, agree, six, strongly agree. Okay. Question number two, when something is hard, also answer from the column to the left, and remember to write the number with your answer. When something is hard, it makes me want to try harder. It doesn't make me want to give up. I repeat the question. When something is hard, it makes me want to try harder. It doesn't make me want to give up. So please answer from the left and write the number with your answer. Now, question number three. I also want you to choose from the column to the left. Okay. So the question is, I like working on things that make me think hard. Choose your answer. I will repeat the question. I like working on things that make me think hard. Perfect. We are moving on to the next question. The next question, choose the answer from the column to the right. So if you say disagree or agree, it has different number attached to it. So pay attention to that. The next question is, I know I can learn new things, but I don't believe I can change my intelligence. I will repeat the question. I know I can learn new things, but I don't believe I can change my intelligence. So choose the answer from the column to the right. Okay. Next question. And now I want you to choose the answer from the column to the left. I don't mind making a lot of errors when I first start learning something new. I will repeat the question. I don't mind making a lot of errors when I start learning something new. So pick from the column to the left, this one here. Okay. Next question. I prefer doing things that I can do well without putting a lot of effort into it, and choose the answer from the column to the right. I will repeat the question. I prefer doing things that I can do well without putting a lot of effort into it. All right. Next question. We're going to choose the answer from the right column again. I prefer to work on things that I can do perfectly or get right most of the time. I repeat the question. I prefer to work on things that I can do perfectly or get right most of the time. So this is here from the right. Let's move on. If I have to try hard or put in extra work, it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Choose from the right. Choose from the answers on the right and numbers on the right. If I have to try hard or put in extra work, it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Now, as you have answered, I want you to add the total score of your answers. So I told you to write the answers with the number right next to it. And that's why we had column to the left and right, because of differences of the questions. So now, whatever answers you've chosen, it had dedicated number to it. So with that number, add it all up. Add the numbers up. Okay. So This is what we're going to talk about now. So there's a score, and those scores will be divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different categories. So write your score down, whatever that may be, and the lowest score is going to be the fixed mindset score, and the higher the score is going to be the growth mindset score. Okay, so if you scored from 8 to 12, you strongly believe that your talents, intelligence, and abilities are fixed and that they can't be changed. You see putting effort and trying hard as a sign that you are not good enough and that you at what you are doing. So you are likely or you are not likely to do well or succeed in certain areas because you would rather to not participate in those areas and instead choose to do things that are easier for you. You believe that talented or highly intelligent people are that way naturally and they did not have to put effort and work into where they are. If you have scored between 17 to 24, this is the statement. You believe your talents, intelligence, and abilities probably don't change very much. You tend to choose situations in which you don't have many mistakes and you don't have to put in too much effort. You believe that learning and improving should be easy to do. Okay. The next score is 25 to 32. And it goes like this. You're not sure if your talents, intelligence, or abilities can be changed, but you recognize you can learn and change in some way. You care about your performance and being good at things, but you also value learning something new. You're not as good at that yet as you would like to be. You prefer not to have to try too hard. Okay? Now we are going to go from 33 to 40, 33 to 40. And that is, you believe you can increase your intelligence and improve your talents and abilities. You care about learning and growing, and you're not afraid to put in effort to improve. You care about performing well, but you value learning a lot. You would never avoid doing something in order to avoid looking being bad at it, basically. And the final score, which is 41 to 48, is you strongly believe that you can learn, grow, and improve in all areas, including your talents, intelligence, and abilities. You enjoy being challenged by things you're not good at yet. You believe in the value of hard work. You don't fear making mistakes or looking bad or even failing because you know that these will lead to learning and improving. You value performing very well, and therefore you value the effort and learning it takes to succeed. So that number and score is down to you. Okay. And again, the reason for this exercise and for this self-assessment is to show you and build awareness. It's rather not to show you, it's to build awareness for you. That score is for you to understand the way you think about things, for you to understand the way you process things, for you to understand what might be certain limitations that are stopping you, what you thought that perhaps in your life was a limiting belief may actually be fixed mindset, because maybe you thought you're not good enough at certain things, but actually is that fear of failing or not believing that you can move forward from the spot that you are at in life. So it is all about bringing awareness, because we can only change what we are aware of. We cannot really bring in any fresh knowledge, or we cannot really grow and move forward if we don't fully understand ourselves. And this is to bring that for you, so you have that full understanding of how you function and how your brain works. Because I always say this to you guys, treat your brain like essentially a separate entity. to help you understand how you function and how that can help you. So, despite your score, because that score is for you, there are things that you can do. Because remember, you can change your mind. And not only you can change your mind, you can actually grow your brain with neuroplasticity. You can strengthen your connections and you can move forward. So, wherever your belief is at the moment in terms of your mindset, whether it's fixed or whether it's on a high spectrum of growth, you can move forward and move further and further and further. It is all about implementing the right things. So, there are a few steps to acknowledge. Number one is obviously to embrace the challenges, right? When the markets turn against you, when the price kind of turns against you, don't shy away from it. Engage fully with that problem. So, what I mean is be a bit stubborn with your analysis. This is my analysis, and not stubborn in a way that you just want to buy because you want to buy, but don't give in because you see a first pullback in a market. Be sure about your analysis. Be sure about what you are doing. Yes, I'm entering buys. I have done thorough analysis. I do not actually care that the market is consolidating or turning a bit or pulling back on me. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to touch my trade. Build in that thought of being challenged by them. I saw what the market is challenging you. That's fine. Come on, bring it on. I am sure about what I am doing here. Number two, persist in the face of setbacks. So there is not one successful trader who has not faced the setbacks. There is not one successful trader that has a perfect track record. We all went through something, but we persevered. And all of the traders had losing streaks. Probably majority blew their accounts. And it is about that bridge between failure and success and keep on going. However, you don't just keep on going blindly, but you're actually implementing knowledgeable solutions into place. Number three, see effort as a path to mastery. Put in the effort, be challenged emotionally, be challenged intellectually. That's fine. You cannot substitute hard work. Remember that trader A, the good trader, the growth mindset trader, knows the amount of hours they need to put in into learning, practicing, and improving. And they still know that despite the learning, practicing, and improving, they will be challenged by the markets every single day. It's just the way our job works. And the sooner we will accept it, the easier it will become. Step four, learn from that feedback. The markets are speaking to us. Feedback is a gift. It highlights where you can improve. Listen to the market. Listen to what it tells you. It's showcasing to you every single day the areas that you're good at and the areas that you're not very good at. And it shows you every day where your emotions peak. Learn from it. You are given an opportunity to reflect and learn from it. Number five, find the lesson and inspiration of success of others. You know, people congratulate each other, etc., etc., but there is some envy there. And when you see someone trading well, think, how can I learn well? What can I learn from them? Do they have any tips? What have they done? If they can do it, I can do it. Start your day with a goal. What do you want to learn today? What have you learned yesterday? What is your intention for today? How will you step outside your comfort zone today? Reflect every evening and think about where did you do well? Where do you need to improve? Write those things down. And I want you to celebrate small wins. Each step forward is progress. Recognize it, applaud it, and meditate on that purpose. And by meditate, I mean be conscious. Conscious, remind yourself of your purpose and conscious of those setbacks and conscious of what is this setback teaching me? Why did this setback happen? Okay, I overtraded. So what is it teaching me? That perhaps if I'm going to stop overtrading, I'm actually going to allow myself to succeed as a trader. So really, that is the heart of being a successful trader. By taking on the feedback, reflecting on that feedback, and moving forward, not pretending that we are moving forwards, but actually doing it. So I've got a little formula for you that we will discuss in a workshop, but I want to read it out to you. And I will give you, as always, case studies, and we're going to talk about it in more depth. But I want you to start each day with a goal, with an intention. Okay? You need to understand what you are after, little step at a time. Reflect every evening. Celebrate small wins. And I don't mean wins in a market. I mean wins in terms of you understanding the growth that you are engaging in and what you are doing. Be conscious about your purpose and what you want to achieve. Those things are so extremely important. And at the end of it, it is all about gathering the knowledge, yes. It's about collecting that data, yes. Because all of those things can bring awareness. But as it brings awareness, take that opportunity to put it into action. Because very often, to summarize, it is not about knowing what to do next, but knowing also what not to do next. And reflection can help you with that. Because yes, you might be great at analyzing the market and entering the market and taking profit from the market, but you're not very good at keeping that profit. And that is something that is telling you something about lack of skill, or something that you need to work on, or something that you need to not do in a market. But you really have to be pinpoint it and say, this is it. This is what I should not be doing. And that's how I want you to think about it. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session. So please let me know if you do have any questions. And I'm sorry I had to stop sharing the screen because towards the end, I started having some technical issues. So apologies. I'm still here though. I hope you can still hear me. So do let me know if you do have any questions. On Wednesday, we will have our workshop at 6 p.m. where I will dive even deeper into the subject. I will take on case studies. So last time we've done case studies, which was absolutely fantastic. I would want you to send me your, not scores so much, but things that perhaps you realized, oh, I thought this is what was happening, but I'm actually struggling with a fixed mindset. I don't believe that I can change certain things about my journey, about my circumstances, or perhaps I am seeing my circumstances as something that stands in my way, where perhaps it shouldn't be. So all of those things can really give us deep and insightful information. And if it's something that you have realized, or you summarized your number and you are kind of thinking about X, Y, and Z, you can always message me and we can utilize that information for our workshop. I will never, ever release your identity. You can tell me safely. We'll just use it to educate ourselves, in between each other. Additionally, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually share a worksheet with you so you can do that exercise now by yourself, because doing it in a live stream, perhaps you did not have prepared a pen and paper or whatever. You can now perhaps listen back and you can go through this course and you can, just highlight and understand, oh, look, this is how I'm thinking about things, but actually I am able to change those things. And this has given me a food for thought about the way I approach things. So I will also write the steps on how you can apply those steps into actionable way into reflecting, into growing, into putting into action the things that you have the opportunity to learn every single day. Every single day, we have an opportunity to learn. Every single day, we have an opportunity to become 1% better at what we do as traders, not only as traders, as humans. We are given an opportunity. It's about now how we're going to utilize those opportunities. It's about now how we're going to utilize that information. And it's about now how honest we are willing to be in front of ourselves and say, I'm actually not as far on the line of the growth mindset as I thought I was. Actually, I'm afraid of certain things, but it's good that I know about it now because I can now apply methods to help myself. So I'm really curious, and thank you so much, Kennedy, for that feedback. I love it. So that was a great exercise score and description that was very accurate for me. Fantastic. I'm really glad, and I hope now that information, that information and that score that you have received, and the information that I shared with you, it's not that, oh, this is it, this is the way I am, that's it, that's me for the rest of my life. No, this is your baseline now that you can build on, because you can always grow. The purpose and summary of all of this is that there is growth mindset and there is a fixed mindset. However, we don't have to be stuck anywhere in between. It's a continuous journey and we always can move forward. It's about really treating it as a baseline, recognizing where you are at, what you are doing, where that brought you so far, and the things that you can change and implement, and how you can actually put different things into action. So even if you came late to the session, I can see a comment, I came late to the session, but thank you for a great value. You can watch it back. You'll be available literally within split minute on YouTube. You can watch it back. I will share the worksheets on Discord as well. And you will have everything in front of you, and you can go through it again. And yeah, it's there for you. And then on Wednesday, we're going to go even deeper into all of it. And perhaps we're going to repeat the exercise or go through the descriptions of the exercise to break them down, understand them more, and apply it into case studies, because I love case studies, because case studies are really about each human's experience, and that each human's experience always has a little that we see ourselves in, and or the trader's experience can help us understand where we are at and how we can move forwards and what that does for us. And even though we're so unique and individual, especially with trading, we do experience the same challenges. But again, it's about what you're going to do with that challenge, what you're going to do with that information, how you are going to utilize it. Are you going to utilize it in your favor? Because it doesn't really matter win or loss, or challenge or not challenge, or what has happened. But it really is about moving forward in a knowledgeable way. Because, if someone is stuck in that cycle of buying one challenge after another, that is not an effective way of moving forward. That's not feedback. That's being stuck and not actually moving anywhere in the right direction. But failing a challenge, or maybe even a few, doesn't really matter. And eventually thinking, I need to change those things. I need to really grow from this. There is clear signaling process that is keep on happening of me repeating certain things and believing that this time things will be different. And even though I've got the intention of things being different this time, they are not. So there is a reason for it. And let me search for that reason. Let me explore that reason. And I say it all the time. All the answers that you are looking for externally are already sitting within you. You just haven't taken time into exploring it, and into listening to yourself, and into tuning in into your positive emotions, negative emotions, the successes, the failures, and really getting to know yourself. Because I tell you this, It's so important to get to know yourself as a person, extremely important, because getting to know yourself is building trust between you and you. And it's like any other human interaction. When you are making friends with somebody, or by how you became best friends with your best current friend, is by building that strong rapport and building that strong trust between each other. And what's most beautiful between friendships, especially, is keeping to the word. And your friend can rely on you and you are there for them. But very often people don't do that for themselves. They say they will do something, but they just don't stick to their word. But if you will start getting to know yourself and cultivating that positive relationship with yourself, you will actually start respecting the word that you give to yourself. And as you will respect the word that you give to yourself, you will become a better trader, because you will be sticking to the things that you said you will do, because those things will be backed by data, by reflection, by insight, not just emptily saying, oh, yeah, I will do this because I want to. But really, you are only saying it because you are feeling a certain way, because you might be feeling deflated. But it's not about talking out of the feelings, it's about talking out of reflection and feedback and saying, I suck at this. I suck at this and I need to become better. And I need to become better. And I will, because you can. Because you can. So, guys, as always, it has been my immense pleasure to be here. And apologies that we have run the session slightly late. As always, with live sessions, there might be some technical issues, and I do apologize for that. However, it's not about the technical issue, but it's about how we deal with the technical issue. And that the same goes for trading. It's not about what happens in the markets, but how you deal with it, how you reflect on it, how you learn from it. It's just life, just the way it works. And this is what I would want you to do for yourself. So Wednesday, 6 p.m., we will explore this topic. I will share with you the worksheets very soon. And guys, again, it's been my absolute pleasure. And I will catch you on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. And based on today's session, set yourself that intention for the week ahead. I beg you do that. Take care. Bye bye. See you soon.